everyone, I'm going to be showing you today how to crochet these super simple double ruffle crochet scrunchies. I've doubled it up just to give that little bit more of a fullness look, and I just think it looks really pretty. So this technique I'm going to show you can be used with really any yarn or cotton cord or anything like that, but I'm going to be showing you how to do these velvet ones today. So just any of the baby velvet yarn, that's what I'm using, along with a hair tie. I got a bag of these off Amazon. It was a good deal. A 5mm crochet hook, scissors, and a yarn needle or darning needle, whatever you call it. So let's go ahead and get started. Begin with your loop. Get your hair tie and your hook and just put it through, and then get your yarn loop onto your hook, and we're just going to begin. We're going to begin with a chain 1, and then we're going to work 35 single crochets all the way around. So you're going to put your hook under the elastic, the hair tie that you're using, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. And you're just going to go ahead and keep on doing that until you have 35 single crochets around your hair tie. It is going to get a little awkward at the end, but we want to have it as full as possible, because then when you're stretching out the hair tie, it's not going to show too much of the actual elastic inside, and you really want that ruffly fullness. So just do your best and go ahead and get 35 single crochets onto your hair tie, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've got your 35 single crochets around your hair tie, you're going to find your little chain 1 space, and you're going to close with a slip stitch. Just push your hook in, yarn over, and pull right through both loops on your hook. Now we're going to chain 2. And it could be a little difficult when you're working with this velvet yarn. It's a little harder to see your stitches, but just take your time and kind of feel them out if you're having a hard time. You can even use stitch markers if you need. But anyway, just take your time. So we're going to work 2 double crochets into the back loop of every stitch all the way around. So you're going to yarn over your hook, go over the top of the stitch. So instead of going right in the front of your stitch there, you're going to go over the top into the back loop only. And you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the next. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again with you for the next one. So yarn over your hook, go into the back loop of the next stitch there. I hope you could see it okay. I know it's really hard with this yarn. I'm really sorry, you guys. But I hope you can see it okay. So you're going to go into that back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through the last 2 loops. And we're going to do another one in the same back loop. So you're working 2 double crochets in the back loop of every stitch all the way around. If you need a little bit more of a clear visual for any of these stitches here that you see me doing, I know it is hard to see it with this kind of yarn, but there are stitch tutorials available also here in my channel that are specifically for certain stitches, and you can find all of these ones in my stitch tutorials, where I'm using a yarn that's easier to see exactly what I'm doing if you're not familiar with these stitches. So just go ahead and continue on with working 2 double crochets into the back loop of every single stitch all the way around, and then you're going to close with a slip stitch in the top of your chain 2 space that you started this round with, and then come back. Okay, so now that I'm back at the beginning, I'm going to close my round with a slip stitch into the top of my chain 2 space. I'm going to chain 2, but turn my work, and this time you're going to be working in the back loop, but going back around the other way. So it's kind of like you're working in the front loop again, but it's really the back loop of the original stitch. If that makes it any less confusing for you, I don't know. I hope this isn't a confusing pattern. I know it's a little bit difficult because of the yarn, but there will be some more clarity as you go. Like as you work on this, it'll get easier. You'll be able to feel it. You can see it better as well. But depending on the yarn, and as I mentioned, if you need help with any of these specific stitches, you can always check out my stitch tutorials where I take time and go really into detail about specific stitches. And it is with regular yarn that's much easier to see. I know this yarn is a little bit more difficult, but the result is so worth it. I think these velvet scrunchies are so pretty. They're very soft. And the response that I've been getting from these is really positive. So anyway, you're just going to keep on going and working your 2 double crochets, back loop, double crochets all the way around. But again, as I mentioned, so technically this is how you started your work, and we did front loop double crochets. And right now we're working in the back loop, but we've turned our work. So it's like you're doing front loop again, because you're looking at your work this way and you're working in the front loop. So you're just going to go and do the 2 double crochets all the way around the same way you did the last round, and then you're going to close with a slip stitch over here at the top of your chain 2 space, and then come back. Okay, so when you've made your way all the way back around to the beginning, you're going to close your round with a slip stitch in the top of your chain 2 space, and then fasten it off with a little bit of a long tail end, because you want to make sure that this doesn't come apart at all. And then you're going to take your yarn needle. You're just going to go ahead and use your yarn needle to weave the tail end in and out of stitches, just to hide it there and secure it. And then you are done your scrunchie.